Welcome to the very first episode of Retired Life. Wish you were here, a podcast about retired life, new adventures, and everything in between. I'm Kim Lee, and I'm here with some of my very favorite people. Maria Barnette, dear friend since 1975 in college, and my husband, Stuart Lee. We are part of an incredible team. We have Nancy Manley, Dave Manley, and Bill Barnette. We're 6 voices with 6 different perspectives, all ready to explore what retirement means today.
Yeah. Well, a lot of people think retirement, but retirement is not about slowing down. I don't see it as slowing down. I see it as starting something new. And I think maybe you'd even surprise yourself with things that you want to get into, things that you want to try that you might have never thought about. You might have thought about it a little bit. And now is the chance for you to do that because you've got all this time in the world to do it.
Exactly. And whether you're retired or you're thinking about retiring or you're just curious about retirement, we're here to share stories, experiences, and laughs.
So let's break the ice, and we'll tell you a little bit about each of us.
Okay.
Maria?
That's a good plan. Okay. Well, I am Cuban, and I came to the United States not knowing any English. I came here as a little girl, but I went to Florida State where I met Kim, and my first experience out of college, I moved to Atlanta, lived there for a while, started working for a college where I was a recruiter for students. Did that for a while and moved to London. They offered me the opportunity to go to London, live there, recruit students all around the world. Perfect job. In my late 20s, I got to travel all over the world recruiting students. Met my husband, Bill, who is also part of the group. When we were about to have our first child, we decided that England was a little expensive, moved back to Atlanta, kept working there for a while, raised a few kids, then decided that I needed to stay home for a little bit, or I wanted to stay home. But that didn't last too long. Got into real estate. A friend of mine, a good neighbor, had a very thriving real estate practice. So I went in with her, and she decided that she, at that point, was getting a lot of Spanish-speaking clients. She had big accounts, but had some Spanish-speaking clients that she needed to work with. I came in and helped her with that. Loved real estate, thought it was a lot of flexibility raising kids, but if anybody's listening that has done real estate, you know that sometimes that's not as flexible as you think. Lots of weekends, lots of nights. Did that for a while. One of my kids did a lot of baseball through college, so we decided that I wanted to stay and follow him around and be able to enjoy that part of my life. Did that, and then when all that was done, I'm like, I'm too young to not really do anything, so what could I do that I really don't have to make a huge salary, but I wanted to contribute a little bit? I started looking in the education business again, because that's the field that I came from, and went to work for the public school district. That's what I do up to now. I started 10 years ago. I thought it would just be a little thing. I'm an administrative assistant to a director. I work with English speakers all day long. I work with their parents. I get to speak my language. I work with a lot of young people. I learn something new every day, and I kind of love it. And it gives me a lot of flexibility because I could take time off if I wanted, but I've got this career that I'm really enjoying right now.
So do you really think you're going to be able to retire?
I'm not sure. And if I will retire, but I think I will always do something new, something that I might have thought of doing, but never really spent the time because you don't have the time. So there's a lot of little things that I want to do. Stuart, how about you?
You're the most veteran of us in many ways.
Well, I retired 15 years ago in 2010. I spent 37 years in the military. I had various jobs. I was an infantryman. I was in special forces for 15 years. Did several different things in special forces. I was a medic. Then I became a weapons specialist. But afterwards, I went and did command time. So I did some command with, became a command sergeant major. So I did command time with battalions, brigades, and a division. Then I went to work, spent some time with DIA, and then I went to the Pentagon. From the Pentagon, I got to go and do time with Fort Benning at the infantry school. I was their operations sergeant major. And then I was selected to be the post G3 sergeant major, which was very demanding. And after I did my tour there, it was time for me to go back overseas. And then I decided that, excuse me, with 37 years, it's maybe time for the younger guys to take over. So I decided, I spoke with Kim, and Kim and I decided maybe it's time just to go ahead and retire. So a few weeks later, I was retired.
I thought you were going to freak out.
No way. I didn't have 2 cell phones. I wasn't answering 100 emails, nor was I running from meeting to meeting to meeting. So I got up that first morning, had my cup of coffee, walked out in the field in the front yard, which is like 5 acres of grass. And
You see your future.
I went, yay. This is so nice and peaceful. So I had no problem adjusting to retirement life.
Well, I have always been part of a family business since 1984. I've been running the business. I have operated as marketing. I've operated as president. But I have so much energy that I do all these side things. So not only have I ran the business, I've bought a marina, I've written books.
Yeah, we've been part of all of that. When when Kim bought her marina, they have this place on a beach where there was a marina across the street, and the restaurant was kind of, what was happening? The restaurant was going out of business.
Oh, yeah.
And you
It
guys...
it was actually going into bankruptcy
Right.
when we
and,
bought it.
And you guys decided, let's buy this thing and I
Let's
will
fix
never, I will never forget. We went down there and we used to go. The funny thing is that we used to go there as guests, not as guests, but as patrons to the restaurant and to the marina. And we would go there. Now Kim bought the marina, so we're there one weekend. Nancy, Kim, and I are there, and she's decided that she's going to make this bar out of all this little glass.
Stained glass bar.
Stained glass bar. So we're putting all the little pieces in the bar and doing it all. And then she goes, we have microphones here and we could do a karaoke. We're like, karaoke? Granted, there's 3 of us in there.
And we don't sing very well.
We don't know how to sing. We can't follow a tune. But we decided we are going to just get up there and start. The 3 of us started. Oh, my goodness. If that was recorded, it is pretty bad because we are bad. But that gave us the impulse that night to go to this bar, and we did karaoke that night at that bar.
First
we
time.
Danced around. They didn't ask us back.
I wonder why.
For sure.
we had
So
fun.
did you ever think that you would wind up doing something like Retired Life, doing a podcast?
No, never, ever. Why would you think that? But that's the type of thing that I'm saying, is that all of a sudden something falls on your lap and you say, why not?
All I can think of is the Talking Heads song where it's like, and you wonder, how did I get here?
How did I get here? But, we were down in Florida on vacation one time. All of us were together. And we're thinking, we're getting older, but I don't feel old. Okay, I look at myself in the mirror and I see wrinkles. But when I'm talking to young people, I feel as young as they are. They probably don't think the same way or feel the same way. But at work, for example, I have coworkers that are in their 20s. I have coworkers in their 30s, 40s, and 50s. My coworker that's in his 20s, he's a young guy from South America. He's taking care of his grandmother and his mother. They live together. And he will come to me for advice so many times. And I feel like, wow, he's teaching me things every day. because we're in there, working, and he's teaching me technology that I literally never thought I would be involved in, but I am, and I'm learning every day something. But he comes to me for advice, and he takes it wholeheartedly because he needs that. He doesn't have anybody else to go to. So I think right now in the job market, for example, there's a lot of that. There's a lot of different age groups that will ask you. I have a friend that I work with who's in her 40s, who's got kids that are in high school and elementary school. She's like, how did you do it? What did you do with your kids? I just don't think it's kind of like a mentoring situation that I do at work. And that's one of the reasons that I like going to work a lot. It's not because I have to get up in the morning, I've got to get dressed, I've got to do all that. It gets me up and going, but it's that type of situation that I like,
So
Well-
really, a lot of us would like to stay working, and we have the energy, we feel young, we still in our minds think young, but a lot of people, and several I know, are losing their jobs.
Yeah.
One, because their salaries have gotten pretty high, and now they're not able to find other jobs
Right.
to take the place because they're too overqualified
Yeah.
for anything.
Yeah.
So we do side hustles.
Yeah. My husband's a perfect example. Worked for his father's business from the time he graduated from college, worked there for 40-something years, and one day they walked in and they said, we just don't think we need you anymore. That company had sold several times, so it was obviously a public company now, but they didn't need it anymore. He's 59 years old, and they let him go. They gave his job. He was in the financial aspect. They gave it to about 7 people. They divided it all up, and they saved a huge salary. So he tried to find some work, and it was, who's going to hire him at now 60 with that type of salary? It doesn't happen anymore. So you do, but you know what? He has also landed great because I never thought he'd enjoy retirement, getting up in the morning. He could read. He takes care of a lot of things around the house. He helps his brother in his business a little bit. He helps us with our little marketing business that we have. He has learned how to do so many things that he never thought. Like you guys know, he researches everything to the T, which
Over research.
which
But
is
it's
great
good. It's
because
good
we
because-
don't have that strength. So
Yeah,
it's like
well,
all
well,
these
we need
people.
that.
Yeah.
Well,
so
you have focus.
Well,
you do.
when I focus, I focus. But adding on to your comment about
Yeah.
mentoring, I've had the honor since I've retired to mentor several different young men in their careers in the military. Navy guy who went EOD and went on the teams. I had the honor to commission him and get his first salute. And also a young man that was in the military, in the Army, when I say military, in the Army, that was a fired up, supercharging young soldier, and helped him with his abilities to navigate the military system. So mentoring has been a part of my retirement, if you will.
And I do think that's one thing that we need to maybe do a little bit more of, which I'm talking to Bill about, is find something that you could give back. You're at this stage of your life. Just think at the age that we're in, we've had so many different experiences. One thing that I've talked to Bill about is try to find something you want to mentor in. We have so many years of experience in the different things that we've done in life, the different stages that we've done in life. And there are so many young kids out there that don't have role models, that don't have family units like we were fortunate to have. And maybe we could go in and start mentoring some of them. Even if you go into an elementary school, you're going to say, oh, I don't like high schoolers. Go into an elementary school, go into a middle school. Find out if you could go in and help out in any way. A lot of parents are working. They can't take the time to go into the schools and help. So maybe we could do that. And think about, I don't know, I find a lot of joy in doing something like that. But you would surprise yourself if you try something like that.
So, do you believe retiring is more about relaxing or reinventing yourself?
Absolutely reinventing yourself. Because I think when you reinvent yourself, you find ways to relax. It doesn't have to be a high pressured reinventing.
And, it could be a hobby. You could
Right.
just be,
Right.
I'm going to go out and
Yeah.
be a master gardener.
Yeah.
Or I'm going to go out and I'm going to learn how to fly a plane.
Right.
I mean,
Yeah.
there are so many things you can reinvent yourself
Yeah.
with.
True. You can learn how to play golf, which I'd never learned, but I had fun trying. Or you could even learn other things. I love skeet shooting, trap shooting. I enjoy that quite a bit.
Yeah, it's not
now.
all about going and finding another job because some
No.
people just are done. And I don't blame them.
Yeah.
For me, my brain is always coming up with a new idea, which everybody in my group is a little flipped out when I say, hey, I've got an idea.
Yeah,
And it's-
because your
We do
brain never
kinda run.
stops. Never stops. Hey, we have a friend who retired young. He was very young when he retired. And his wife looked at him and said, gave him about 6 months and then said, now look, you're so young, you're going to have to find something. What have you loved? What do you think you've always loved that you thought, he's always been a hunter. He's hunted all his life. He used to go on these trips with these dogs. And he said, I want to train dogs. I want to become a dog trainer for hunting. So she said, perfect. Research who is the best trainer in the country and find out if he will teach you how to become a dog trainer. So he got these GSPs and he went out west somewhere and stayed there for months and became a dog trainer and came back and started a kennel, of all things, started breeding the GSPs, and then did that for a while and bought some land and had a place where people would come and hunt. And then somewhere in Alabama, they hired him now to be the kennel manager. But not that he was looking for another job, but it just landed on him because he started doing something that he was passionate about,
Well, Kim told me that I was sitting around the house doing nothing too much, so she encouraged me to go to school. So I went back to school, but I went to Kaiser and I went to the culinary part. So I learned how to do pastry and bread, which was
Which
very
worked.
interesting.
Worked
for 2
good and
years.
bad. There are some good things for that and some bad things.
It was, I remember when you were in culinary school and we would come down to visit and you would have these great meals and these desserts and, oh, it was so much fun. And remember Dave tried to do like the sergeant major. Did you have like
That's right. We were going to, that was another
that
one
was
of my
another
ideas.
idea that Kim
Cooking
had.
show, yeah.
Yes, he was going to do a blog about his learning how to
Yes.
cook.
That was a lot
But
of fun.
Stuart at that time was not too much into blogging or cameras or social media.
Are you ever,
for that matter?
Are you ever really
No.
wanting to do that type of thing? Well, some people might, but
When you start in the social media realm, it is overwhelming.
Yeah.
And for all us
Yeah.
with this new project of Retired Life,
yeah.
it has been eye-opening on what these social media influencers or
What they do and how they
content-
could do it. Like, how could they do that? Like, how do you learn? How do you even start learning?
I don't even think there's a school to go to.
No,
Yeah, there
and
should be.
But they
Maybe
just,
not. Maybe they.
but these people just look at these cameras and look at these apps and they here. Let me have it. Let me do it. They lost me when they took it in their hands. It's like I'm lost already, and they're like 15 steps ahead of you.
And
So-
they're like, this is very easy.
Oh, yes.
Let me
Yeah.
show you
You
how
go
to
here,
do this.
you go there.
It's like you keep playing it over and over and over.
I got to take one step at a time. One step, stop it. One step, stop it.
I'm pretty much the
And
same way.
wait, one step, stop, reverse. One step, stop, reverse.
I don't know. And even at work sometimes, somebody will say, Google how to do it. You Google how to do it, but they read it they see it and they get it. I have to stop, reverse.
So if you could go back 10 years, what would you do differently to prepare for all of this? For your retirement, for our retired life, wish you were here. What would you do that was different?
If I went back 10 years, I'd be retired still. So
Wait a
that's
minute.
not
How
a good
long have you
question
been
for me.
retired? How long have you been retired?
15 years.
No,
This
Stuart.
year, I know. It does not seem like that at all. It is. And he did it so well. I thought he will lose his mind. He has been in the military his entire adult life. He's going to go home and go crazy. Well, he did mow every single row in that 5-acre field. Exact. It was no lines off. And for me, mowing a field was just like running around.
Yeah. I must say that when that stage happened, I remember going to visit and noticing a lot of order.
In my chaotic
Well, that's from my background of discipline and order.
and
So,
focus.
But remember Kim, you would go visit Kim and you would walk in and she would have her desk and she would say, come read the chapters of my book. Come read the chapters of my book.
This is what I'm doing.
This is what I'm doing. These are my books. And then you would go into the other room and say, oh, this is what the displays of the things that are going to go along with the book that I'm going to have. And I'm like, oh, okay. And I would go back and I go, how does her brain function in so many different ways? She never stops. Does she ever stop? Does she ever sleep?
No, I
Kim,
wake
don't
up
think
in
you
the
sleep.
middle of the night. The other night, I woke up and I came up with a new book idea for all my short stories.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
But I'm thinking, again, here we go again. We're thinking that we're getting to the retirement stage, and Kim's brain has not slowed down.
well, I have really enjoyed our first podcast together. Coming up podcasts will be people who have unique jobs. We have people who will tell you about living in communities for seniors, people who will talk to you about scams, people who will come in and give us ideas of what seniors can expect and where they can go with their new retired life.
with lots of good information
Yes.
and guidance.
Yeah.
We all need
Yes.
guidance.
We'll do lifestyles and hobbies. We'll do travel and exploration, especially, cruising's a thing. So I would love to get some cruise professionals in here.
We were just talking about us just because it's a brand that we've started and we wanted people to know who's behind it. But it was a little bit just about us. It's not about all the different things that we're going to do because
and
I think
now we want to share the information that comes with retirement.
because there's so much, there's a world. Think about the amount of years that we have to go and all the things that we could do. We have so much time left in doing things that we want to explore and do and enjoy, relax and enjoy.
Yes. We're
You
going to
know?
bring other people's personal stories.
Yeah.
And their reflections on their life and financial information.
Yeah, I think it's great. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I think we have a good thing going. We have been friends for so many years. It's crazy to have friendships that last a lifetime. I mean, we were 18 when we met. It's just incredible.
Now we're 19.
Yeah. Well,
We feel like we're 19 for
no, not
part
19.
of the day,
Not
the
19.
whole day.
Let's not
Yeah.
say 19. I don't really want to feel 19.
29.
But I want to feel maybe in my 30s.
So I want to give a shout out to Retired Life, Wish You Were Here, which will be helping us support our podcast.
Yeah.
Retirement is just the beginning of your next great adventure. Whether you're traveling the world, hitting the golf course, fishing at sunrise, or enjoying the simple pleasures of life. Now you can wear your adventures proudly with our exclusive Retired Life merchandise that embodies all the things you love: travel, sports, leisure, and more. Our collection of hats, shirts, mugs, and tote bags lets you represent the retired life in style. Perfect for yourself or the retiree in your life. Thanks, and we'll see you again soon.